Don't sing if you want to live long. They have no use for your song. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead. Stay dead and out of this world. That is a song for Billy Russo.
Oh, he's not dead though.
All right. Well, he was dead. He was dead meat.
His face was dead, very
Right.
zombie like.
Well, hey guys, if this is your first time joining us, we are the South Side of Wakanda podcast. I
Hey
am
y'all,
I am Colin Robinson.
and I'm Billy the bitch.
Oh, if this is your first time joining us, we are a comic book movie podcast, superhero podcast, MCU podcast,
I was like,
but not
what?
but not a comic book podcast.
Mhm.
I woke up more than like 10 minutes ago, promise. So this week's episode is going to be about The Punisher, episodes 12 and 13 of the first season. And this episode is going to wrap up our rewatch of the first season of The Punisher. But before we get into that discussion, let's talk about some news stuff, because that's important.
Yeah, what's going on in the world?
So last week we were talking about those rumors about Harrison Ford. Well, Harrison Ford is here.
Harrison Ford is here.
You get a humpback whale. You get a humpback whale.
Everybody gets humpback whales.
He is going to be our new General Ross.
Nice.
Very excited about that. Theories by T was talking about the video, about this casting in the video. And I think he was the one I was watching. They were like, he's older than the previous actor. So they're like, I think y'all should just let go of that whole like Red Hulk thing. I think that's not happening. I was cracking up.
Let that dream die.
Yeah. I also can't see like Harrison Ford really like entertaining that. Like, you come to Harrison Ford talking about some CGI shit, I feel like he would tell you to go to hell.
Well, he was Indiana Jones, but
right, and he was Han Solo.
That was a long time ago. Like
Yeah.
even when he was in like those action movies and stuff like that in the 90s and like early 2000s and stuff, he had you could tell underneath his clothes he had on like knee pads and stuff. And that was like almost 30 years ago. So ain't no way in hell that Harrison Ford is able to do that stuff now. So
I feel like Harrison Ford will tell Kevin Feige to his face, be fucking for real. Like,
go to hell.
He's just the man to do it. But I don't know. I feel
actually
like it's
do that.
great.
It's Harrison Ford. What the fuck you gonna
say? Who gonna check him?
Exactly.
Nobody. So that's fun. I'm excited to see what that's like. I feel like somebody else mentioned Harrison Ford. Oh, okay. Get ready for this tangent.
Okay.
All right. So I was watching this TikTok video, and you know how Kanye West has been in the news because he was saying like anti-Semitic stuff or whatever. So they whoever was doing this video was talking about how he's effectively ruining his career, and Mel Gibson was brought up. And so in the comments they were kind of fighting, because this girl was like, you know, had Mel Gibson never had those outbursts like become public, that he would have been like the man's in them, because he was. And the people in the comments was like, well, he's still working, which he is, but not to that level. No. Like, this was Lethal Weapon. Like,
Passion of the Christ, ironically.
Right. Like, he was that guy. And now he's irrelevant. And I have to think, like, who else kind of came out of that era and was the man's in them, and still the man's in them is Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He was
Bruce.
Indiana
I was
Jones,
going to say Bruce Willis, but I mean, obviously he's had to take like a medical break and stuff, and he's old, but like he can afford to take that break and it not tarnish his legacy whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
Because he got some hits too.
Oh yeah, his career is just long.
It's he's solid.
Been working and relevant through every age, and people cannot deny the fact that could have been Mel Gibson, but it's not.
Oddly enough, me and Mel Gibson share a birthday. That's a crazy Capricorn shit.
No, they say that's the male Capricorns. I heard that they actually wear the mark of the beast.
Oh,
So
let's pray for my son then.
he's gonna be an angel. Everybody except for him is gonna be terrible.
I've dated 2 male Capricorns thinking like, oh, three. Not dated, but yeah, they all feel a little, they touched. It's really something wrong with them.
Yeah,
It's like,
I believe
like
you.
we'll be the same, but then it's like this like narcissistic thing that just takes over, and I'm like, oh, we not like, I'm not like that.
No, I dated one Capricorn, and that was short lived. That lasted about 3 months. That
That's
was
as
it.
long as it needed to last.
Yeah, honestly. All right, but I said all of that to say that Harrison Ford had a long career. He's still relevant. He's 200 years old.
And
So
he's
there you
still
go.
a stud.
I was thinking about Sean Connery as I said that.
Who is
Oh
also
my God.
still alive.
Is he really?
Isn't he?
I don't know.
I'm about to look it up because, like,
Wait, Sean Connery might be dead.
I don't think he is. When did he die?
I hope not. I feel like he died in like 2019, right before the shit
Oh,
hit the
no,
fan.
he died in 2020 on Halloween.
Oh.
Damn, they really swept that under the rug.
R.I.P. R.I.P. to Sean Connery.
That was still a really long time. Ooh, he was 6'2".
Dang, really?
Okay, Sean.
He was.
I know, right?
All right. So, rumor. There's a rumor. You know, we really don't talk about rumors on this show, but I thought this one was entertaining.
Okay.
So, the rumor is that Disney is planning to get Robert Downey Jr. back in the Avengers Kang Dynasty movie. Look at your face. She's just like, what?
Let's just let him be. Let that man rest in peace. Obviously, Robert Downey Jr. is still alive, but
right.
I don't know. I have a feeling about this. Okay, and I'm gonna try to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
If they do that and it works, then all of the people that's on like the internet that be like, oh, the era of like, you know, the first 3 phases was the best, then it'll be like they were kind of like resting on him coming back in order for the rest of the phases to do well.
And I don't want to get.
I don't want them to have that.
I'm right there with you.
I don't want them to have that. Same thing with like Chris Evans. I don't want them to bring back people from the original, you know, the original first 3 phases and then have it work. And then people are like, oh, see, that's what Marvel needed. They shouldn't have gotten rid of these people in the first place. Like, because that's exactly what they're going to say.
I don't want to see Chris Evans in another MCU movie until he actually in real life looks the way he did at the end of Endgame. When my grandkids are watching the MCU and they carrying my old crippled ass to the show to see him, and I will cry if I see him in the show, a variant of him in the show. But outside of that,
so
no.
if it ain't 50 years from now,
right?
Don't just leave it be. Leave it be. Let Iron Man rest in fucking pieces.
Right. All right. So
mean.
the Hollywood. You know, I mean, I don't think that's bottom though. I think we say way worse.
Way worse than that.
Yeah, so it's okay. The Hollywood Reporter is projecting that Black Panther 2 will make at least $175 million on its opening weekend.
I still haven't bought my tickets.
And it's
I know.
Really? I got mine. I probably won't be able to go, but I got mine.
It's just I've been paying for so much other stuff that it was kind of I'm trying to get through the weekend before.
Right.
I'm obviously gonna buy my ticket before the week before, but it's just been so much shit going on. I just haven't had time to like
to even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did it the day that it dropped because I knew that I was going to quickly forget. Yeah. I'm surprised. I got me some nice Dolby seats right in the middle, you know, recliners, all of that. But my babysitter might be out of town, so somebody else will be sitting there.
I don't think I told you about this. So, no, I sent it to you. I texted it to you, but we didn't talk about it on the podcast. I was like, at one point I was looking at AMC at like seats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that they were doing like a double feature on Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, that Thursday evening or whatever. And I was like, oh, yo, that would be dope. Like, and I had sent it to my family, and I think I had sent it to you too. And I was like, oh, they almost got me until I realized it said digital and not Dolby. I was like, I'm good, baby. I'm good.
Oh my God.
They can keep that. My little bougie ass was like,
Maybe not.
maybe not.
So yeah,
Perhaps not.
I'm excited to see it. The first film debuted at 202 million, so it's we gonna show up for them. So many people are excited about this movie. I'm not surprised.
Y'all, I'm not wearing all white.
You party pooper. I am.
Where? I'm so tired of finding clothes. I'm so tired of shopping. I don't have it in me.
You know what? You get a pass because you probably got to go to like a fucking specialty shop. You gonna be like working really hard to find a white outfit.
I'm gonna be 32 weeks pregnant. Like
You better.
If I had something all white already that I could wear, I don't.
Get
like,
you a tall tee, Shani. Go back to your roots.
No, right? Oh my god!
Just stick with what you know.
Extra tall tee,
right?
and some fucking knee highs.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes, there you go. All right, so our last bit of Marvel news. So our queen Keke Palmer has addressed the fan casting, and I want to play for y'all the interview. So her and Jordan Peele were talking to comicbook.com, and they were talking about Nope. And at the end of the interview, he asked her how she felt. So here she goes.
Lastly, since I am here with comicbook.com, I gotta bring it up.
I know
you endorsed yourself for Rogue, maybe. Have any of the wheels started spinning by any chance? Has Marvel maybe touched base with you? Have you gotten to meet up with them at all?
That's confidential, sugar. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I just know that the way that the fans have me booked, honey, they online, I got to do gig every week. So if we're adding Marvel to it, hey, let's do it. I'm ready for Rogue.
Marvel cannot have her. She's ours. No,
sorry, Kevin.
You're allowed to do what you need to do.
Sorry, Kevin. I just thought that was just so fucking cute, and I loved how she pulled out her Southern Belle real quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's Keke Keep a Job Palmer. Don't play with her.
I know. I love her. She just came out with her own streaming service or her own network and stuff. I'm like, girl, okay.
Just putting us all to shame. I'm like, she's amazing. Like, Marvel.
I'm too tired.
I know y'all don't.
I don't have the.
I know they do listen to this podcast, even though y'all don't listen to the fans all the time. But listen to the South Side. Like, this is the girl. This is her.
I would love to see it.
Yes. So before we, get back to our regularly scheduled program, I just wanted to talk about DC for a second because they actually had a lot of shit go on this week, and I want to talk about it. So
you said go wrong or go on?
Go on.
Oh, I thought you said go wrong. I'm like,
with them, you never know. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So they announced that a Superman sequel starring Henry Cavill is in the works. They got him back. They have righted the ship. So this means a few things. It means that the people like me who were hoping that, they would just really lean into the whole Robert Pattinson, the Batman thing. We was hoping that was going to happen. I think it's still going to happen. I think Matt Reeves is working on a sequel, but it's not going to be like, this is what DC is doing and they just abandon that other bullshit.
One thing that I do enjoy about Marvel is that it's not more than one studio making content about the same character. It's not like Marvel has Iron Man and then Fox is putting out Iron Man stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's weird. So I'm really glad that it's like what 3 different companies had access to Marvel, but they're all doing separate shit.
Yeah.
And I like that because it's like DC is just like, okay, so which one y'all want it to be like Marvel, but y'all got so many people making fucking Batman and Joker movies.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So it's like
they took everything from the Marvel model except for that part. Except for the picking up lesser known characters and rotating that bitch. They was just like, no.
Let's just stick with the same 3.
Yeah. You losers.
And run it into the ground.
Right. So I don't even know who is Batman in that universe because I know what's his face said J-Lo husband said he don't want to do it no more. And I think Michael Keaton was supposed to reprise his role as Batman in Batgirl, but then that movie don't exist no more.
Hold on, wait, I'm confused. So is it? Okay, because you were talking about Superman, and then you brought up Robert Pattinson, and I just realized.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is they aren't gonna have him be.
No, so okay. A lot of people were hoping that because everything was falling apart, because Ezra Miller was an asshole, because they don't want Ray Fisher no more, because Henry Cavill was somewhere doing something.
He just always out minding his own business.
Right. They were hoping that
they would just scrap all of that.
Yes. And that because the Batman with Robert Pattinson was good, people were like, oh, make this a cinematic universe. Reboot it this way.
Right.
But it looked like they're not doing it. They're just going to have both universes going on at the same time. Yeah.
And that brings me back to my point.
Right. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. But everybody was freaking out and whispering and running through corridors talking about Henry Cavill during this whole promotion for Black Adam because I think Dwayne The Rock Johnson was like, yeah, Henry Cavill, my nigga. Something basically along those lines.
Yeah.
And people was like, oh my God, he's coming back. He gonna be in Black Adam, which he probably is. He probably in a post-credit scene or something. I don't know. But it's true. He coming back.
Has anyone ever been in a DC movie and a Marvel movie?
Probably. I can't think of nobody off the top of my head, but I know it's happened. Yeah, I can't think. That's a good question. We're gonna come back to that. Also, okay, I already said that Matt Reeves is working on the Batman sequel. Then they also got him working on movies for the villains. So I guess the Scarecrow is gonna get a movie. Then somebody named Clayface and somebody else, Professor somebody. I didn't write the whole thing down because I was bored. But that's happening. Cool. I mean, the first Batman was good and I like Matt Reeves, so I'm gonna just give him the benefit of the doubt, whatever. I'm going to watch it anyway because that's what I do.
Right.
One thing I did not know is that James Gunn is working on a mystery DC project. So that's interesting. That's suspicious. James Gunn has done the second Suicide Squad that everybody liked and also the Peacemaker TV show, which was very fucking good.
Right.
Then Theories by T said that Idris Elba told him that he was working on a secret DC project. And Idris Elba was in the first Suicide Squad. So I'm just like,
Was it the first one or this?
I think it was.
No, it was the second one.
It was the second one. He died. He didn't die.
Because Will Smith was in the first one.
Right. That's who I was thinking about. Okay. So that's probably connected. Maybe he getting his own second movie or whatever the fuck. Cool
him. Idris Elba. Boom. Did it.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, granted, he was dead in the Marvel universe, so I'm not sure if that really counts.
Right. Yeah. I feel like
James Gunn directed a Marvel movie.
Guardians.
Okay, so that counts. All right.
Yeah. They all friends. They all working together. Just jumping from ship to ship. Get the bag. Exactly. I'm not mad.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get mad, ho. Get a bag, ho.
Right. So that's probably what that's about. Patty Jenkins is currently working on Wonder Woman 3, and I'm praying that it's going to be better than the second one because, woo, bitch. Woo! Just ask a friend to help you because, yeah.
Phone a friend.
Yeah.
I never watched it. They used to play it all the time at my old job, because I worked at a furniture store. So they would have the movies playing in the home theater area or whatever. And I would always see it But I know parts of the movie, but I have no idea like the actual context of it.
Don't rush. When you on maternity leave and you breastfeeding and you have sleep at 3 a.m., turn it on.
So I can fall asleep.
Yeah. And then so she's working on that, and then Ezra Miller has been recast for the Flash movie, which is still coming out, and they are working on a script for the second one, and the script is almost done. The first one hasn't come out yet, so
it's just so messy.
Yeah, I feel like that was just like 10 minutes of gossip. I don't know. But listen, they said all of this, but they have not said nothing about Cyborg. The one black man. The black man who Zack Snyder whole movie, the Justice League, it was mostly about him. Nothing. Crickets. Wow. So, fuck y'all. That's all. Fuck y'all. And that's the news.
Okay. All right. All righty then.
Okay, so let's do our discussion topic. We got a good one this week. Our bestie JC slid in our DMs with a Ask Wakanda, or he says hashtag Ask a Wakandan, and
I love it.
We're gonna start using that. There we go.
Every time I see it, I'm like, I love it.
I love
Chef's
it.
Kiss.
So he says, I recently saw on Twitter that Charlie Cox said he'd like to see Jessica Henwick as the new Iron Fist. For those of you who maybe forgot, that is the actress who played Colleen Wing on Iron Fist.
And y'all, it took him sending this message, right? And me having to because I don't be remembering people's names. Mm-hmm. So I had to look up which character she plays. Y'all, this whole time we've been talking about how Danny, or what's his real name?
Finn Jones.
Yeah, how Finn Jones is in Game of Thrones. Y'all, Colleen was in Game of Thrones too.
I felt so dumb when I saw too. That shit.
And the crazy thing is, even though I saw the picture of her from Game of Thrones, it's still she looks like a completely different person.
Yeah.
And it's not like she had on it's not like they did crazy makeup. She looks very plain faced and everything. But she looks like a completely different character.
Yeah, and a completely different race too.
Yes.
She was the Dornish.
She was one of the sand snakes.
Yeah. And
what's
up with snakes? Because I was gonna call her the sea snake, but I'm like, that's not right.
See, that's Corlys Velaryon.
Right.
What was I about to say? Yeah, because I'm pretty sure she is not supposed to be Asian.
Mm-mm.
In Game of Thrones.
No,
I'm pretty
sure
she's supposed to be some type of Mediterranean type of thing.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that is the culture of
Dorne.
Yeah. They're the Rhinar. When they say that, that's the people that they're talking about. So it's a completely different race of people that is not Asian. So yeah, I don't know what the hell they did.
Yeah,
some movie
it
magic.
Works.
She does not look the same to me.
That is amazing.
And every time I was even just looking at a picture of her, and I was just like, still doesn't look like her. It's right. Fucking insane. And I was watching Game of Thrones while we were watching Iron Fist. That's the crazy part.
Wow. Wow, Shanique.
Still didn't put it together.
Well, his question is, has there ever been a woman that held the mantle of the Iron Fist? And what are some of the gender variants of the current MCU characters you'd like to see? We have Loki and Sylvie, Peggy and Steve, Bruce and Jen, Tony and Riri is coming. A woman will be the Black Panther in the new one. What could be some other cool ones? So I wanted to add that we have Mighty Thor as well as the female variant of Thor. And then I did a little Googles because I didn't know the answer to this question.
Yeah, I Googled it too.
So for those of you who did not Google ahead of time, we did the homework. Colleen has been the Iron Fist, and there have been 9 other people also, according to comicbook.com. Now, most of these people, I didn't even write down their names because it don't fucking matter.
Exactly.
They was just people that were in Danny's life. I think one of them was somebody he served in the war with. The ones that I did that we all know is Davos, his bestie that was in the show, and then She-Hulk,
Yeah.
which I was like, what the fuck?
I know when I was scrolling, I think we're looking at the same article, and She-Hulk popped up, and I was like, huh.
Right. And they called her Iron Hulk.
Which
That's
is
so
dope.
fucking badass.
Which is really dope.
Oh, they was in their bag with that
yeah,
one.
I thought the same exact thing. I was like, okay.
Right. So, love that journey for her. That probably was a good ass comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And I put some She-Hulk comics on my Christmas list. I hope I get some.
Did he mention Hawkeye and Kate Bishop?
He did not.
That's another one.
Yep.
Not that they're variants, but they are kind of
they have the same skill set.
Yeah.
And branding sometimes.
Yeah.
I want to see Gwen Stacy as Spider-Gwen.
Okay, that's the one I was thinking about. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was trying to remember, because I was thinking about this yesterday and I didn't write it down. And I was like, that's who I want to see as well.
Yeah, I think that would be cool if they ever like get to Miles Morales, like if they introduce them both in a movie or in a trilogy, that would be dope.
I agree. That was like the main one that I thought about. Now I'm trying to remember who else.
I would like to see a female Winter Soldier. Like maybe like the vibes of like maybe a former Black Widow is like going rogue and like not Yelena, because Yelena, she has her own vibe. She don't have the Winter Soldier vibe.
Right.
I want like a stone cold bitch that's just wrecking people's lives. That's what I want to see.
I was also thinking like a female Falcon.
Oh yeah.
Because I just think that like Sam Wilson was just like a super honorable character.
Mm-hmm.
And everything.
Girl, imagine if they would have made Captain America black and then the Falcon a woman. Oh, the internet, they would have been crying and throwing up.
That would have been real mad. Real mad. Imagine if it was a black woman or just a woman of color, any color.
Oh my God. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Anyway, yes, but I would have been living for it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I forgot the Wasp. We got the Ant-Man and the Wasp. I would like to see more of her.
I was thinking, this is what I was thinking. I want to see, because you remember, I think when we talked about Ant-Man, I think I might have went into how Cassie became Ant-Man, I think, in the comic books and stuff. And I think I want to see that.
I forgot about that, yeah.
And they did recast Cassie.
As an older actress, right?
Yeah, Catherine Newton, I think that's her name. She's been in a lot of stuff. I love her. But, and I'm wondering if they aged her up and gave it to a more well-known actress for that reason.
Actually, now that you say that, I don't want to see no more of the Wasp. I want to see that.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Like, I think that would be really cool. Especially since she's Scott's kid. And, like, even as a kid, like, in the movies, like, she was just so interesting to watch and funny and stuff. So, and you know that personality just don't go away. So, like, and she been through hella trauma because she was by herself for 5 years. So, she probably even funnier. And her dad went to jail. So, you know she just super funny. Like, the trauma just made her so funny. You already know. So, I just want to see her by herself. Like, not by herself, but I want to see her as Ant-Man.
Yes.
Because I just think that she would bring a lot to the table and she would be funny.
I feel like the nerds on the internet were saying like that it seems like they could do a Young Avengers and that her and Kate Bishop and Wanda Imaginary Kids is probably gonna be in it. That shit that's gonna be hard, especially since we got Hulkling now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was a good discussion topic. Thank you so much for writing us in. If anybody else would like to hear us talk about things or
so you have a suggestion for discussion topics or a question,
you can email us at the southsideoconda@gmail.com, or you can slide in our DMs.
Y'all. Actually, that was in I don't think that was on the regular
Yeah, I
if you
think that was
know
our
us,
personal.
if you know us, then feel free. But if not, then just go to South Side of Wakanda on, our social
Socials.
media platforms.
Yep. It's time to talk about the penultimate and the finale of The Punisher.
Yes.
So we only have episodes 12 and 13 to discuss. It's pretty much wrapping up all of the plot lines. Last week, everything just fucking went crazy. Them kids was separated. The little girl Leo got she hid in the damn home invasion. The mama and the son got kidnapped. Then Frank was throwing people heads across rooms and explode. It was crazy.
That shit was fucking nuts.
Oh.
And then the crazy thing is when this episode started, I was like, wait, what happened? And then I had to remember because it started off so mild. Like this episode, like the first, episode 12?
Mm-hmm.
It started off so mild in comparison to what happened last week. That was just like, it was almost like a culture shock. I was like, wait, did I miss something?
Yeah.
Had to make sure I was on the right episode.
Things was moving fucking quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Micro has been reunited with his family. And it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
So what happens is Frank, he goes to Madani and he's like, okay, this is what the fuck we gonna do. So they agreed to go do like a trade-off because they just like, we need to get his family back. That's the first priority. Right. So at the trade-off, Frank and Micro was there. The Madani and them is off in the wing somewhere. And then, of course, slick-ass Billy is up in a tree like he Hawkeye watching everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so they try to do this trade. And it was just like, it was so crazy how she didn't even like look like this man is really dead to them. And so when they see him, they just like out of it. Like, is this a dream? A ghost?
Right.
What is happening? And so, yeah, that whole thing went left. But we found out that it went according to plan. According to Frank and Micro's plan.
Exactly.
And so Micro gets shot.
Yo, the whole like that during that scene, I was just like, what was where was it? Damn, like where is it?
I felt bad for Sarah.
Yeah, I just felt like I felt like he was gonna die. Like literally that same scene. Well, no, it was like the first scene. I was just like, it would really suck if David ends up like sacrificing himself for his family, like to get his wife and his son back. And then it's like, imagine like you grieve for your husband, you think that he dead, and then boom, he not dead no more. Boom, okay, sorry, psych, he dead again.
Yes.
Like now he dead for real. Like I just thought that would be so traumatic.
Mixed in with the confusion because of all of the stuff that's going on. Like, they have no idea. Like, they probably just thinking like, okay, we kidnapped for some reason. Maybe it has to do with Frank. Right. But I'm sure they had no idea like the fucking cops was going to show up. They had no idea that they might have been set on fire. It was a fucking shootout.
That was so crazy.
Yes.
I was like, that's so sadistic. Like, to me, I was like, it's worse than what Ramsey did to Rickon with like, all right, well, there's your brother, like, go run to him and then like shoot him in the back, basically. Like putting a fucking gallon of gasoline on somebody's back.
It's so
to
brutal.
make sure that they don't like
try anything funny.
And then like that was, and the crazy thing is, it's like, he's up there with a fucking sniper gun. Like, he's a sniper right now. So it's like, he could have just shot them.
Didn't Frank say, like, this is just for theatrics or something? He said something like that.
I think so. I think he might have. And it had to have been. Yeah. But that wasn't on their side.
Right.
That was on Billy's side. So I was just like, that was just
sick.
Torture.
It was
sick. That was literally just for Micro to be like, you better act fucking right.
Yes. like just the years of therapy, just from that like 15 minutes of their life alone, just they never gonna financially recover. Like
no. And one thing that they haven't really gone too much into, I want to say Leo, it was probably like the last episode, she said something, or David says something, and Leo was like, how you know that? Because he been watching y'all all year. All year.
I really wonder if he's ever gonna confess to that. Like, should he?
He should take that to the grave.
Because I mean,
but also, you run the risk of saying something like, "Oh yeah, remember when you punched your sister in the face?" Just like, how the fuck would you know that? But I guess that is something that Frank could have told. But it's just like, not only were you gone, not only did we think you were dead, but while you were supposed to be dead, you were spying on us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how you could possibly.
I would definitely.
That I don't think you could come back from.
I don't know, because as long as he wasn't like watching his wife masturbate, like, is it that bad? Like, it wasn't cameras in the bathrooms
that we know of.
Now, if he had cameras in the bathroom,
no, that's fucking.
Now, gross. Micro.
It did seem like he only had cameras and stuff for their protection, because whenever things happened. And Frank was already with him, he was basically like, go check on them. Go, make sure they okay and everything.
Yeah. I don't know. So, like, I understand. And I don't know how he would not be able to tell. Because he would know so much that happened in a year. Like, how is he not? Like, I feel like in the beginning, you should just come clean. Because he's not going to be able to keep that alive forever.
Yeah, that's not something that you can keep.
Yeah, and then if you find out,
you gonna slip.
Right, and you find out 6 months later. Because he did it
in the first 10 minutes with his daughter.
Exactly. So you're going to have to say, and I would just be like, hey, I didn't have no cameras in the bedrooms or the bathroom, but I did have them in the house and I was watching y'all. Just blurt it out. Because if you wait 6 months down the line and she be like, oh my God, I cannot find my journal. And you go to the fucking pantry and it's in there like, remember that day that you was like multitasking? True. And she was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. That is true. And then she got to be like, damn, so you saw me kiss Frank and all of this stuff.
Yeah. Therapy. Just hours and hours of therapy. Years and years of therapy.
They need to just go ahead. They need to sell that house. Hopefully the interest rates ain't too crazy, right? So they could get another house, right? And just start completely over. Just get a fresh start.
Yeah, I think for me it was a conflict of interest because I do have cameras in my house, and when I go on work trips, I do watch my family when I'm not there, and they know. Prince hates it, but I'm not gonna stop because I be wanting to be at home. I'm Micro.
But they know you alive.
Right.
But they know you alive. That's true. And they know that you're doing it. Like, it's completely different.
I'll be talking to my kids through the camera, like waking them up for school. I'll be in Chicago. Wake up. Good morning. Good morning, Mommy.
Oh.
Like I'm the smart house.
Oh, right. Exactly. That's cute.
Okay. All right. So, but I'm happy that Micro and Frank had a plan because had they just relied on the fucking cops, shit would have been a goddamn disaster. So Micro faked his own death again so that he could be with his family and so that Frank could go and have this final showdown with Billy and them. And that part, the thing that really stuck out to me in these 2 episodes was Frank and Micro's relationship.
Same.
Because he really did not want Frank to go do that. I think he fundamentally just does not understand his need to have them dead. It's not about justice. Yeah. You have to die bloody. But he was just like, this my man's. I gotta help this.
He's like, I'm gonna stick beside him for real.
I'm gonna stick beside him. That's a rider.
I agree. Yeah. I put the same thing. Like, David is really a ride or die for fucking Frank.
Yeah.
And Frank is too. Like, honestly, like, I feel like Frank on some level, he probably never gonna admit it. He loved Mark.
They love each other. It's so cute. I was like, not these being like the best friend story that I didn't expect to get.
I was not expecting it, especially like at the very end. Obviously, we'll get to it, but at the very end of the first episode, when fucking Frank was like on his deathbed, and I was like, I love David. He says, "That's right, you scary beautiful man." I was like, exactly, David, exactly.
He was crying. He was like, my friend is dying. I was like, oh
yes, that he's Frank's man in a chair.
Yes, oh my god,
and I just love it. I stan their relationship. I just love it so much.
I love that. He was just like, he was trying to stick with the plan, but he was like, we can't let him die. Like, he done did way too much for me. And I love how like they don't really get along. They like personalities don't mesh at all.
And they are, like you said, just fundamentally different.
But they made it work. And they truly do care about each other. I really wish, like, at the end, that Frank had, like, went and had dinner with them. Like, I understand why he didn't. Because I feel like that would have definitely been very triggering. Especially since he was dreaming about, their family sitting down together. So I feel like it kind of would have been, like, a nice little full circle. Like, oh, we got to do it, but it's different. But
yeah.
He's
like, I need to go and live my solo dolo life.
Yeah. And probably let them get back to living their life without him being
exactly.
Yeah.
But he only one call away if you need him.
Yeah. Man. You see how Karen do? Like, hey, I'm in trouble.
I wish we would have gotten a little bit more of her in these last couple of episodes. Yeah. But I'm sure we'll be seeing her some more.
She kind of just disappeared from the show.
She really did.
Yeah.
Even though, like, they kind of built up their little tension and everything, and then I just realized, like, they just never brought her back.
I feel like it would have been nice, like, after he went to his, little therapy session, if he would have just, like, showed up, like, I'm trying to turn my life around, boo. Wait.
Wait for me.
Wait on
while
me.
I work on myself.
Right. I went to therapy today.
Right. I wanted to kind of talk about while he would, like, him getting tortured and everything.
Okay, let's.
Okay, so obviously he did get beat very bad. He is a human. He might be a badass, but he is still human. But it was just so funny to me that Frank blinded Rollins with one fucking punch.
Yeah.
And Rollins was like whooping Frank's ass, and Frank was still like,
you hit like a
laughing
bitch
at him.
I was like, yes. I said that the first time he hit him, I was like, oh, he hit like a bitch.
No, for real. Exactly. And the crazy thing is just like, you can tell that they wanted Rollins to be like sadistic, and you can tell, like, in a white man kind of way, he is very sadistic in a I'm a fucking colonizer and I'm a rape and pillage type of way.
Oh, yes.
Like, he's scary in that kind of way, in the way that, like, you don't really know what to expect, but not to Frank. Like, he ain't scared. He's not, like, Frank ain't scared of him. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
So it's just like, it was crazy watching him try and torture Frank.
And then I feel like Billy was just bored because he was like, this is Frank fucking Castle. Like, you not gonna be able to. I feel like
you're not about to whoop his ass.
Right. But I feel like also it's just like, at one point Billy was just like, you not really gonna be able to get the best of him, like, with this whole torturing thing. Like, this is what we do. This is what we were trained for. Even though at the end Billy did, like, let his guard down. But I think that had more to do with the fact that in some sick ass way, Billy still think they kind of friends.
Billy is delusional.
He's fucking crazy. Like
he's not, he is actually crazy. Like, it's not like, oh, he's just a narcissist, he's a villain.
Yeah.
Like, no, he is actually, there is something mentally fucking wrong with him. And this is why y'all, boys and girls that are listening, need to love y'all sons and raise them. Woo. Because this is, do you really want your son to be raised, like, to grow up and be fucking Billy?
Them fucking mommy
Russo.
Issues is doing his ass in through, like,
the fact that he could hang out with Frank's family, hang out with Frank, be Uncle Billy, and all of this stuff, and then turn around and plot on you?
Yes. And he knew what happened. He knew it was about to happen.
He said, I wasn't there, but if I was there, I wouldn't have missed. But nigga, you missed last week when you shot him in the head.
Like, please stop acting like you that dude, because you're not.
Because you're really not.
No.
You're not that girl.
No.
You are not that girl.
Billy. But like you saying, like, he had the audacity to be kicking it with the family. The wife was good with him. He had a great relationship with the kids. Y'all kicking it on family day and shit. Like, you Uncle Billy. And then you do this stuff. But then at the end, you will be like, no, I made him a promise. Friend, I'm going to make it quick. I got you. What?
He's insane.
It's not clicking, Steven.
It's something like I said, it is something wrong with him. Like, even in the scene when he was talking to Kurt, and he was just like, he was like, one of my friends is trying to kill me, and the other one was lying to my face. Like, bitch, you are not the victim.
Right, and we not friends.
Exactly.
One of my friends trying to kill me. You... Billy.
Why is he trying to kill you, Billy?
Right.
How about we go back a little further,
right,
Billy?
let's unpack that. Can we talk about this for a second?
You mad, but you was plotting on Frank from jump. You knew that the people you was in cahoots with was gonna kill him and kill his family, and you didn't tell him that's supposed to be your boy. And he find out, and now he want to kill you because you part of it. You responsible for his whole family dying and all this tragedy. But you mad that he want to kill you because you tried to kill him first?
Honestly,
that don't make no sense.
I think Billy was just jealous of Frank. I think that's really what it was. He was jealous that he had the family, and I feel like Billy probably didn't have a part inside of his soul that he can connect to a family because of the fucked up shit that happened with his mama. But he still wanted it, even though he didn't feel like he could have it, and Frank had it. And that's why he was cool with Frank, but he was also like, fuck Frank, kind of like, you know.
It was like, in I think Frank had mentioned, like, oh, he only wanted, like, fast cars and women and money and stuff like that. It's just like, because that stuff is superficial. It's kind of easy to get.
Yeah.
And you don't really have to get close enough to somebody for them to realize that you ain't shit.
Exactly.
And all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, Billy therapy.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
I would love for somebody to, like, just psychoanalyze him, and I'd be like, yep, sounds about right.
And I can't prove this, but I also think that he is jealous that people like Frank more, first of all.
Even though he is considered a crazy ass person.
Frank always has somebody helping him. Frank always has somebody lying on his behalf. He was really hurt that Kurt was, like, not telling him the truth and they thought he was friends. Even though, look how the fuck you do your friends.
Exactly.
So come on. But yeah, so he's jealous that Frank had a family and had his shit together. He was jealous that people like Frank. And I think he also jealous that he's not as good as Frank.
Right.
Because I feel like Agent Orange would have preferred to have Frank to Billy. Especially like how bad he used to talk down on Billy. Like, he was like, you ain't shit.
But he said that you're a grunt too.
Yeah. But he's still not as fucking good as Frank. So that's why.
And he definitely, especially seeing as Billy was, like, raised in a foster system and he kind of really got it from the mud. I think that he definitely looked down on him, and nobody looked down on Frank that way. So he had a complex too.
Yeah. And Billy probably felt the way too that Frank left and he had a family to go back to versus Billy didn't have anything to go back to. So he stayed there. That's my theory and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, that was just nuts. Well, I will say that it was really fun watching Billy's just, like, slow descent into madness. I called it from the first scene. Obviously, I didn't know that he was as crazy as he was, but I knew that from the first time that they introduced him, and they were like, and it seemed like he would be coming back and everything, and he was someone that Frank knew, and then Madani's trying to get too close to him for information. I was like, he's bad. Like, there's, like, nothing good about him. He's evil. You can tell because there is nobody that pretty as a man that is a good person.
And he looks very pointy.
I'm sorry. Very.
He looks pointy.
He like Amond.
Yeah. He got a pointy, like, villain face.
And I was like, let me look and see what else he's in. He was like Prince Caspian in the fucking Narnia series.
Oh.
He's been in a lot of. He hasn't been in anything that I've watched, but he was in good roles and stuff like that. And I was just like, I cannot see him playing like, I don't know if Prince Caspian was supposed to be a good person or a bad person because I've never seen the movie. Caspian sounds like a good person. But
it's so interesting how they use like stuff like costuming and like his hair design and stuff to like illustrate that. Because I was recently watching Scream 2 and Timothy Olyphant is the villain. And I was just telling Prince, like, he looked like a fucking villain in this role. Like, I feel like they enhanced, like, his widow's peak and, like, made his face more pointy. And then, like, how he, like, uses his face. He, like, makes his eyes so that you see so much of the white around his eyes. And it makes him look crazy. But then you see him in, like, Justified and stuff. And he don't look like a villain.
Fucking love Justified. Did you watch that show? Oh, my goodness. Such a good show.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. He was in Santa Clarita Diet, which is...
He was also in First Wives Club.
Oh, yeah. Brett Artunian. He looked like a villain in that, too. And he was.
He did. And you know what also makes people look like a villain? Mm-hmm. It's something that, like... Okay, so you know how Billy's hair was just like perfectly coiffed and stuff like that, like not a single hair out of place. That's also how, like, I know you crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a way too meticulous of a style. It's almost like whenever he has like some new growth in his beard or something, he has somebody come and trim it. It's like way too clean shaven, right? But then you can see as he slowly starts going crazy, or you see parts of his personality, it's just like hair will just kind of be a little bit more like disheveled and stuff like that. Yeah. Or like just the one piece will come out.
Yeah.
And that's how you know.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
I agree. I feel like didn't we either this episode, the last episode, or the episode before, we compare him to American Psycho. So yeah,
I think it was
it tracks.
Last episode, I think.
Yeah. What else? So this final showdown, Billy, the fact that he suggested that they go back to the park with the painted ponies, I was like, oh, you fucking bitch.
No, seriously.
But I feel like that was him just knowing what we just said, like, you're not as good as Frank. He had to have all kind of theatrics, like...
And... because you can tell that Frank was, like, reliving the trauma of that day.
Like, he played on that PTSD callback. Then he had them kids, because he know that Frank is always going to be a good person. So he put some people in danger.
He's always... Yep. He had to bring some innocent people into his beef, as usual.
Right. And then he had to turn the power on so the thing fucking spinning, so it's not easy to see your target. Ugh.
And it's disorienting because of the music. I just think that whenever I see a carousel in a movie, it's never fucking good.
No.
First of all. Well, I think it was The Net with
Chris Hemsworth?
Sandra Bullock.
Oh.
I think they had a carousel scene. I just feel like carousel scenes are always supposed to be kind of like disorienting and like, I don't know, and creepy and stuff like that. So it fucking works.
The carousel scene I always think about is the one from Grey's Anatomy. I'm gonna just tell y'all the story. So this is a flashback from Meredith Grey's childhood, and she was like trying to figure out what the fuck was going on, because you see stuff when you were a kid, but you don't figure it out till like 20 years later. It's this situation. So she on the carousel going around and around. She's seeing her mama every time she go around, arguing with some black man on the side, and then he leaves her.
I did see that.
Yes. And so later, as an adult, her mom says, the carousel never stops turning. You can't get off. That's her, analogy for life.
Right.
That shit is fucking terrifying, and it's right. It keeps fucking going. You cannot get off. Yeah, I need that on a t-shirt. So yeah, right. So he did that, and I mean, it didn't fucking work because he is the Punisher, and Frank was not gonna rest until he was dead. Even if that meant him dying, he did not care. Like, you're not getting out of this, Bill. Sorry. And I was really happy when he fucked his face up.
I know. I think that was very symbolic.
Yeah, I was proud of him.
Because didn't they always kind of reference Billy as being like kind of like this pretty boy?
Frank always said that about him. Like,
and so the fact, and obviously he is very narcissistic and all of that stuff for all the reasons I had just said. So I just felt like it was so poetic.
Yeah.
For him to first get shot in the face, and then that, like, it's not. Obviously, you think you get shot in the head, like, it's, you know, a death blow, but this one wasn't. It was almost like cosmetic. Like it caused pain, but it was like, it'll heal. It's just gonna be an ugly fucking scar. And then he just fucked the rest of his face up.
Yeah, and that scream, that was some acting right there, because he sounded like somebody was shaving his skin off his face.
That was like, oof.
Yeah, I know Frank enjoyed that shit. And I was proud of him when he didn't shoot him, because he would have, but he was like, you know, you're gonna be ugly and you're gonna be in jail. And that's good enough for me. And I was like, good. Let him look in the fucking mirror every time and just be like.
But I feel like it's not gonna end there.
I never finished the second season. I'm thinking about.
It's only 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 2 different shows. I never saw the next season. So he probably do come back. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. That shit's fucking wild.
Find out next year on Dragon Ball Z.
I know, seriously. I just want to say, I love Madani, love her character, all of that stuff. Not that she really figured anything out. Everything was kind of handed to her, so I'm not really sure how good she is at her job. Yeah. And she's absolutely useless in the field.
The only thing is she's very stubborn. She don't let shit go. So I'll get at to her. Yeah.
But when it come to Scooby doing some shit, Karen got her beat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Shit, even at this point, we're using a gun. Karen got her beat.
For real, because at least Karen didn't miss her target.
No,
Karen ain't got shot.
How you sneak up on him with your gun drawn already and still miss and get shot, and then be out?
Like, girl, you shouldn't have even come.
She was out the whole battle. She was just
why were you even there?
I don't know.
That's what's crazy to me.
Yeah, she
ain't figure out nothing. If
it was Misty Knight,
everybody else,
it would have been handled.
Exactly.
Period. Pooh.
Period. I'm really trying to think of what Madani put together for herself. She didn't even put together that Billy was crazy because she was so digmatized.
I think that's part of the reason why I'm happy that Billy face got messed up too, because I feel like he leaned into that like prettiness and he used that to disarm people, because it fucking worked on her. Like
serial killers, you know, like when they be like, oh, it'd be attractive people, and they use that to kind of disarm people, because people always think that the monsters are, you know, ugly and troll-like and all of this stuff. Is like, no, they beautiful. Yeah. Not beautiful, but some of them be like attractive, and they use that they know that, and they use that to their advantage. Yeah. And people don't fucking see past it.
Yeah, he's too pretty. I was really shocked though at the little trade off. He had her in his crosshairs, but he didn't shoot her. I was surprised.
I was surprised that he didn't kill everybody.
Yeah, he could have.
It's crazy to me. Yeah, that he didn't just shoot everybody.
He showed a great level of restraint, but that's because he was trying to get there and clean, like, you know, fix his shit. Get that shit off them computers so that he could go back to his life. Like he really thought that he was gonna go back to his life.
He thought he was about to go back to being a millionaire.
Yeah,
it was gonna be fine.
He thought he was gonna be in Cabo on vacation in 2 weeks, up until the very end. I think
the whole time, like, if he wasn't so like hell bent on trying to get like revenge on Frank, that's trying to also get revenge. He would have been okay. Yeah. Like, he had all that money. He got out of his building, like, scot-free. Like, he was good. He could have taken his own advice and hopped on a jet to somewhere that doesn't have, to the Cayman Islands, somewhere that doesn't have, like, extradition. And he would have been fine. But he was just so hell-bent on killing Frank. You mad Frank want to kill you because you tried to kill him, but now you ugly and going to jail. Right. You was rich, bro. Like, you literally had all this money at your disposal and you didn't use it.
Just fumbled the bag. It just
could have sent all this money to an offshore account
had a whole plan. Like, the fact that he didn't have a plan B, like, as soon as that shit started going wrong with Agent Orange, like, as soon as he saw Frank, like, laying there, like, oh, he done fucking poked his eyeballs out, I wouldn't have been watching no more. I would have been like, let me just gather my shit.
I would have been gone.
I would have been gone.
And the crazy thing is, there was absolutely no version of this where he got out and he at least didn't have jail time.
Right.
Because had Frank died and everything, you know, and that went to plan as far as Agent Orange is concerned, Agent Orange was still going to turn on Billy and send him to jail.
Right.
So he was not about to live as a free man, and he put way too much trust in that rich man who, like I said, don't give a fuck about nobody else. So it's like, you should have just cut your losses.
You put your trust in a nigga, stupid hoe. How you figure?
Exactly.
All right. Well, if you don't have anything else to say, I'm interested in seeing how many Infinity Stones you would give this show.
I'm gonna give this show all of the Infinity Stones.
Oh, all right.
I really enjoyed this show. Some parts I could not watch.
Mm-hmm.
I could not watch the scene. Which scene was it? It was a scene today, but definitely the Rollins scene.
With the eyeballs?
Rollins death scene.
Yeah.
I was like, I could not. I was like, okay, Frank, crazy ass. Yo, what the actual fuck? Steve Lightfoot. Some shit I couldn't watch, but I think that this was like a really well-rounded story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That I was actually interested in seeing what happened next.
Yeah.
It was a great continuation from what we got in Daredevil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love like everybody's character arc.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like fucking Micro's, Frank's was great because I mean he finally let people into his life.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and he's allowing himself to be loved.
Yeah.
Even fucking Billy's crazy ass. I loved his arc into madness.
Yeah.
Like I thought that it was great.
And also dealing with, you know, the consequences of his shitty ass actions. So glad he got his comeuppance.
What's that TikTok sound? What's this? The consequences of my actions?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was really good. I put it at a 5, maybe 5.5 out of 6 Infinity Stones. I enjoyed it so much. I feel like as a show that is a spinoff, it did an excellent job as just standing on its own. Like, even without Daredevil, like, if you just pick this up, I feel like you would pretty much understand a lot about it and you wouldn't really be too lost or feel like, you know, you have to go back and watch Daredevil. Yeah, I don't really have any issues. I thought it did a great job of talking about like veterans in our society, talking about like radical extremists and you know, gun laws and, you know, trauma, PTSD. Like Frank's PTSD was shown very explicitly. Like they did an amazing job.
No. Wait. Sorry, I had to. That was PTSD.
Yeah, John Bernthal did an excellent job acting. And I feel like the makeup and prosthetics department, because his nose don't look like that in real life. I had to go look. Like, my Google searches is John Bernthal's nose. Because that nose piece, it looked like he has had his nose just broken at least 3 times a year for the past 10 years of his life. But in real life,
it doesn't look nearly as crazy.
Yeah, it's a normal ass nose. So they did a great job. All in all, I'm excited to see what happens in Punisher season 2, and I'm super thirsty to see John Bernthal in the MCU. That's what I want for Christmas, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
So now that we're done with the Punisher, so we should announce now that our rewatch is going on hiatus.
Yes.
Because the holiday season is approaching. Shani is nearing the end of her pregnancy. She's also in school and things. So
still got shit to do.
She's gonna have she's gonna have finals. She's got nesting to do. She's got growing a human child. She's growing my son, so she needs to focus on that and not watching TV. Then, I have my wedding anniversary, my birthday, my husband's birthday. I have a work trip coming up. I have family coming in town.
Then Christmas.
Christmas, New Year's.
Then my birthday.
Your birthday, my child's birthday, our son's birthday, and then I have another work trip.
Jesus.
Right after that. So
or concurrently.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully.
I went to the doctor today
dream.
and she was just like, well, maybe it'll be the week of, maybe the next week. And I was like, well, if it's the next week, then Brittany can be there.
Listen, that is my dream. I'm crossing my fingers, my toes, my eyeballs, everything. I will be there. Like, you're due January 7th. I will be in Vegas January 8th. So just go over a little bit. I know that you're going to be mad, but just wait.
We was trying to file this baby on our taxes.
Man, well, honestly, and listen, my child was born on the 3rd. We was like, come on, a few days ago would have been just fine.
The 2nd. But as much as I wanted to be the 3rd, the 2nd.
Same difference.
I know.
But yeah, so last year around, I think November, we went on a little hiatus. Mm-hmm. So we're just doing it a little bit earlier this year because of our son. So that's happening, but we won't be like not uploading anything.
We just won't be rewatching anything.
Right. So I think Jessica Jones is technically next. We won't be starting that until probably the middle of next year, whenever we can, get back to a consistent schedule.
Who fucking knows?
Yeah. When Shanique feels well adjusted to motherhood and returning to work, then we'll reassess. But in the meantime, in between time, of course, we're going to do episodes on the movies. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a Black Panther episode. I think Ant-Man Quantumania comes out February.
17.
Yeah. So probably that one too.
Oh, yeah. That one, I already got a babysitter lined up.
Okay. Cool. So we'll be doing the movies. We're probably, as far as like the Disney Plus shows, I think this year What If season 2 is still supposed to come out at some point. They haven't announced if they've changed that or not, but it was slated to 2022. Oh. I haven't heard anything different. I might have missed something though, because y'all know me. Right. So and then like I think the Guardians have like a Christmas special that's coming out, but I don't think the next actual show is like Secret Wars,
and that's not until
the spring.
Right, we don't have a hard date on that yet.
Right, so we're gonna talk about like what we're gonna do about that show, but as far as like weekly episodes, we're thinking we're just gonna do like discussions, like stuff that we don't have to prepare for. Mm-hmm. And we could just get on here and talk. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be a lot of that. And they won't be as long. So sorry if anybody
I know if you be trying to kill an hour and a half at work with us. Yeah. They might be an hour. We're gonna at least push for an hour.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do that. But so that's just so y'all know what's going on. And now we're gonna do our What We Watching segment. I just truthfully did not turn on my TV. The only thing I did this week was watch those 2 episodes of The Punisher and watch House of the Dragon. That's all I did.
Y'all, I have a problem because I want to say last year sometime I was watching this show and now I'm watching it again. It's not Pretty Little Liars. Don't worry. I haven't even finished it.
I was about to say.
I haven't even finished it. I like turn it on here and there. But I started rewatching Psych.
I knew you was going to say Psych. Oh my God.
I have a problem. Like, whenever I just will rewatch the same shit over and over and over, and I love it. Like, it's just good. It's good background noise, and it's kind of like Schitt's Creek, but it satisfies my need for true crime without it being gritty or dark or anything like that, because it's really I always compare it to Scooby-Doo, because it's like. It's always like something that's like, oh, it's a ghost, but it's always a human. It's always something that's like easily explained. It's never supernatural. Even like the stuff that could be, it was like a serial killer episode, but even that was very light and fun. Because I haven't been able to watch any true crime lately ever since.
It's good to have like a nice background noise show. And Schitt's Creek is definitely one of those for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just turn it on. And it lifts your mood.
Yes.
Sometimes, you can't just watch Frank Castle throw skulls
No, I
around
can't. I can't
24/7.
watch that shit all the time, and especially like I don't think I haven't mentioned this on on the podcast, but I put it on Facebook before. I'm like, ever since I found out I was pregnant, I can't listen to like, because you remember I used to listen to like true crime podcasts. I'd watch all these documentaries and all this stuff. Can't watch it. I cannot stomach it anymore.
The ones with kids, especially.
Yeah. So I'm as intriguing as it is, I do miss it sometimes. I'm just too happy. I'm just too happy to just like, watch all that dark shit. So I'm like, well, at least this one is not dark, but it's still people dying.
Oh my
it's
God.
not as dark and twisty.
Well, but yeah, I mean, we haven't had anything. I mean, we're going to talk about Werewolf by Night in its own episode next week, but I mean, nothing else. Usually in what we watch and we talk about a Disney Plus show, but we're not going to have anything for a while. Right. And then after this week, we're not even going to have House of the Dragon. So,
it's crazy that it's been 10 weeks. Like when
you
think about the fact that it's an episode a week and it's to episode 10 and the season finale is tomorrow. Oh no, wait, what's today? Friday? 2 days from now?
It's Friday, yeah.
That's crazy.
Where has the time gone?
I don't know. Time flies when you're in Westeros, I swear.
I will say that no show just like unprovokingly just triggers my anxiety like House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones for that matter. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as the credits is rolling, like I'm worried.
Yeah. And
who is gonna die?
In this past episode, nothing crazy happens. Like when you really think about it, like it's a very slow burn episode.
Yeah.
But the entire time I was like, oh my God. And because it was the penultimate, I was like, oh my God, somebody about to die.
I was feeling the burn.
I was like,
bad.
It was people that just because I read the books, like I know certain people just not gonna die. But then I was still just like, you just never know how people gonna die. And like, it's just like, it's just so crazy that
and then
I was so into it.
Shit was gonna hit the fan. Like I tried not to watch too many like videos from people who read the books because y'all do like predict stuff and y'all know stuff, even though of course they gonna take their own liberties with the show. But like I know from hearing y'all talk, like it's finna get bad. Like it's finna get real bad real fast. And I'm just like, as soon as he's talking some Aegon, and she's talking about, oh, my son, right, because there's no other fucking Aegons. Everybody and their mama is named Aegon, exactly. But no, he's talking about my child. Like,
and then the craziest part is just like you would think that because she just completely like, who cares about the rest of the things that he was saying,
right? Because none of that nonsense.
Because
that also didn't understand.
Been like, maybe he's not talking about me. Like in my opinion, if it was a bunch of stuff that I didn't know what he was talking about and he was talking to me as if we had this conversation, I would have been like, oh, he just crazy.
And he dying. Like, I'm sure all kind of synapses in his brain was firing and recalling memories.
There was an episode of Game of Thrones, and I think it was Maester Pycelle that said that, what did he say? He said, oftentimes last words are just as important as first words. As in, they're not important at fucking all.
Right. Farrah's first word was chicken. So.
Daddy, I don't like chicken.
And that's her whole personality right now, too. But I was so pissed when she said that, especially because, like you said, the rest of what he said you are the prince that was promised, not your child. He was talking to who he meant to be talking to, and it wasn't you, bitch.
Exactly. Exactly.
You was hearing what you wanted to
hear. And
he
was like saying a bunch of stuff that he said. I think he said he mentioned the Song of Ice and Fire, and he was saying a bunch of stuff, and she was just like, oh, who cares about that?
Right.
He said Aegon.
So fast. She flipped so fucking fast when you was just in right way face. Like, yes, bitch, we just gonna get our nails done.
Alicent is the epitome of a fake ass bitch. She's fake. She's fake. She's self-righteous. And that's like the worst kind.
Y'all, I had texted me. I was like, not Allison, judging Ray Ray for being a hoe, having a whole season, and she over here selling feet pics for info. You got a whole OnlyFans page, and you acting holier than thou.
Exactly. And then to which I responded, she like one of them Christian girls that be like, "Oh, I'm still a virgin. I've only done anal." Bitch, shut the fuck up.
No, for real. Like, you letting him put the tip in your booty when your husband is down the hall dying.
Girl, her husband ain't even had no funeral service. And the crazy thing, she was so comfortable with doing it that he knew what was happening. It wasn't like a shock to him. She obviously knew that this was something that he liked. So you mean to tell me for the past, when did he kill, what's his name? That actually happened a while ago. No, that actually happened recently. Oh no, you're right. Because they were kids. So that was at least 6 years ago. Yeah. So this whole time, this man been in your service, and your husband been dying. You been married this whole time, and you letting dudes jack off in your chamber to your feet. You nasty ass skank. Yes. I don't slut shame, but I do slut shame the sluts that be shaming.
Yes. Yeah, we don't like a hypocritical hoe.
Exactly.
That's not cute.
Own it. If you a hoe, own it.
Then the way she got Sir Kristen just following up behind her with his nose wide the fuck open. She probably be showing him a titty too. She have to be.
Like, honestly, I really think she fucking him too.
She gotta be, because I just don't believe that you so devoted to her. But then I don't know the Kingsguard dude, but he was just like, you treasonous bitches. Like, this not what I signed up for. So if he had some real honor, Sir Kristen would have been just like him. But he fucking
And the crazy thing is just like, okay, like I would hope, because that other dude probably had been like Ray Ray's guard since she was a kid, up until the point that she chose Kristen, and she chose you. Like, you was a real nobody, and that's how you repay her. Yeah, like, you really just switch sides like crazy.
Yeah, just that's how it be though. When you get them that cootie cat, sometimes they just lose all their marbles. I don't know.
And men think that women are easily manipulated.
His whole entire life is to pay her back for her not wanting to be
poor. With him. If I was rich my whole life, I've been middle class my whole life, and I don't want to be fucking poor. I refuse to let anybody drag me into the poorhouse.
If I had a dragon, you think I'm finna leave my dragon and my castle, all my clothes? It's bitches who put my clothes on me.
And then they braid my hair.
And no, absolutely fucking not. Like, he could not have been serious. Like, do you hear yourself?
Your dick ain't that good. I'm sorry.
It's not.
You want me?
And he was a virgin.
He wanted her to turn down her birthright to be poor,
to go raise some kids and do laundry and skin her own chickens.
And he would have been mad because she would have been complaining the whole damn time.
The whole time. You don't got enough money. You said you was going to take care of me.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what's so crazy? We've had a cautionary tale about this in the Game of Thrones universe already. Jorah. He married a woman. We don't really get too much. Well, he tells like a little bit of the story. He married a woman who came from a rich family, and she moved to the north with him and wasn't happy, and he was doing all of this stuff trying to make more money. That's why he got caught selling people to slavery and stuff like that. And that's why he had to go into exile, and she went to exile with him, and then she left him because he was fucking poor. Yeah. But if a woman was born into money, one thing she don't want to do is anything. Yeah. Especially back in them days, no. When all she didn't even have to work, Brittany.
No. All she had to do was have some kids sometimes. And go to parties.
And wear jewels. And ride her dragon.
People was bathing her. You didn't even have to bathe yourself. You don't have to make no food. You don't have to go grocery shopping. You don't even have
And
to
he
worry
would have been,
about.
and he would have been mad because she don't know how to do anything. So it's like
Right.
you would have been mad at this situation. It sounds real sweet. It sounds
Yeah.
cute, but at the reality of the situation is this is a spoiled ass princess, literally,
Who
who
wants to
has
be
had
queen?
people who has had people do things for her entire life. She does not know how to do anything for herself. So now you think that she about to go and pluck some feathers off of some chickens and sow the fields and everything and have your kids, like it's not gonna be
Mm-mm.
like that.
No. And now,
And now
because
he's salty.
he just on a revenge tour, he's just gonna do whatever he can to fuck Rhaenyra over. And honestly, I hope Daemon has his head for it. I just really want that.
I can't wait for that man to die.
Yeah, it's gonna be my favorite thing. Then so what else? Okay, so surprisingly though, it seemed like Alicent was the only one that was sad that Big Vince died. And
I was surprised at that.
me too.
But I guess, they have been together since she was a kid. It sucks to say.
Ooh, yeah.
They've been together for, about 15, 20 years at this point, maybe. I don't really know what the time jump, with all the time jumps, I don't know how much time has passed. But they've been together for a really long time.
I just guess you do get used to him enough to cry a little bit when he died.
And it's not like he was a bad person. It's not like she was married to Joffrey or King Robert. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure he was treating her really well, besides the fact that he was like, all right, summoning her in the middle of the night to have sex with her. Like, besides that part,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he treated her very well, and I'm pretty sure they had really good conversations.
Yeah,
and they had 3 kids, and at a certain point, her kids actually had kids, so they got grandkids together.
Oh yeah.
So
forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's true. R.I.P. Big Vince. I'm sad to see him go. He was the only one that was keeping the shit together.
He was.
And now all hell done broke loose because
immediately
the kids that he don't like them took the throne, and the one child that he do like don't know shit about it.
Oh my god, it's hard to even remember that Rhaenyra and Aegon and all of them are siblings.
Yes. Alicent kids look like they bite.
They are very inbred.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
And obviously they are very inbred because
they Targaryens. So
they are Targaryens, but like, I mean, Rhaenyra isn't technically. I mean, she's inbred, but she's not like, because her mom was like half Baratheon or something like that.
Oh.
So she's not like. It's not like he had married his sister, and then I guess the other kids,
they was cousins though, right? Yeah. Okay.
Now, I guess she's more inbred than her siblings are, but now her siblings is married to each other.
They all look like fucking Dennis the Menace. That's what they all like. They all look bad.
They look like they got silver
teeth. Everybody except for what's her name, Helena. Yeah, everybody except for her. She the only one that just kind of mind her business, and
they kind of all look like ferrets.
Yeah.
They look like little.
It was. I found it very interesting how they handled this whole Aegon situation with him like being into kids and watching kids fighting, and then having all of these kids around. Ooh.
And it's like that's the person y'all want to be king. Like, girl, you walked in on that man jerking off to the sea
to break the news that you know that he raped his handmaiden. Like,
exactly.
This one, I wish
that's the one. And you like, yep, that's my king. Is this your king?
That's a white king right there. That's what she's looking every time she see him. Yes, that's the one. I really wish that Rhaenys was able to talk some sense into her and show her, like, you in here trying to be buddy with me, talking about, oh, you're the woman who should have been queen, when it's a woman who should be queen, and you finna snake her.
Exactly.
Like, bitch, you feeding into the patriarchy, you dummy.
Exactly. That's exactly what she was saying. She was just like, you still toiling and basically doing the man's work. Like, you could have been so much more. She even by herself, she probably could have been a better ruler than Aegon. or
Yeah.
Aemond or whatever. So it's just like, girl, you still doing a man's dirty work. So shut the hell up.
Rhaenys, she snapped off this whole episode. I loved how they was trying to escape, and she was like, "I need to go get my dragon." He was like, "Girl, no." And she said, "I'm getting my fucking dragon. Okay, I'm not fit to leave my dragon here." And
Exactly.
and
did. She was the beast beneath the boards.
I love that for her. And she a grandma, but she got her armor and shit on. She looked like a fucking badass on that dragon. I was like, okay, Rhaenys.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait for this last episode, but it's like I don't want it to be over, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm excited.
Yeah, I hope she show out. I hope to see Daemon kill some people. I want to see Rhaenyra kill some people. I don't know if she could fight or anything, but
I don't know if she will.
I don't know. I'm excited.
I think she might kind of be like a Cersei type, just like drinking her wine from
the far.
Yeah, and just kind of send other people out to do her bidding. One thing is like I like Rhaenyra and I like Rhaenys and Daemon. I don't really fuck with her kids like that though.
Rhaenyra kids.
Yeah, they kind of weird.
They're forgettable.
Very forgettable. So that doesn't bode very well.
No, yeah, I don't give a shit about them kids. I just want to see the race.
I want to see some dragons fight. It's gonna be heartbreaking.
I'm not ready. I'm gonna have to like find some Xanax or something to take before I watch the episode. I'm gonna be watching it between my fingers.
I know exactly. Maybe next week we'll have another little update.
Yeah, after we talk about Werewolf by Night, then we'll talk about House of the Dragon, and hopefully y'all are enjoying this. I don't know if our followers watch House of the Dragon. I know some of them do, but if not, y'all should watch it. I was trying to get Prince to watch it because I'm like, you don't have to watch Game of Thrones in order to understand what's going on. So since he couldn't get into Game of Thrones, you should try this. It's not as much rape. More incest.
It's way more incest.
But not that many incest sex scenes though. So
no, it's just kind of implied. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's implied because there are siblings on both sides not siblings, but just family members that have married. Yeah. So
it's the Targaryen way. I don't know. Just ignore that part.
Exactly. If you ignore the incest, everything's good. All right, guys. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are the Southside of Wakanda podcast, and this was our Punisher episodes 12 and 13 discussion. Next week, we will be discussing Werewolf by Night. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Bye.